Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button for your life?
Oh, that's an evil question.
Oh.
What are you standing on? Life can sometimes feel like an uphill struggle. The view ahead, above, can dominate, intimidate, and seem overwhelmingly daunting. Try as we may, we just can't escape, just can't get the grip we need to move onwards and upwards as the ground underneath our feet gives way, slipping and sliding on the miry clay. But whose shoes are we wearing? Whose path are we following? If we stand on the rock and firm foundation that is our salvation, and follow His guide and His way carved into time for our benefit, the pendulum swings, the momentum shifts as we climb at a canter out of the gutter and the slimy pit, standing on the rock, running on the ridge. Clarity and confidence come as we know our steps are sure. Through Him we overcome. In His strength we endure. Standing on the rock of salvation, we can reach the top and drink in the view. What a Saviour! What a view! What are you standing on?
Where there was none, you saved the day. I'm forgiven, defeated death. You are risen, Jesus. Created light in the darkness. You are my strength and my fortress, the one true God. You are glorious, Jesus. The rock on which I stand, I won't be shaken. You hold me in your hands, I trust in you. Provider, you care for me like no other, the Prince of Peace, my protector, Jesus. God's spotless Son, perfect Savior, dealt with my sin. I'm a failure, my living hope. No one's greater, Jesus. I stand, I won't be shaken. You hold me you are here. I will not fear, for you are here, for you are here. I will not fear, for you are here, for you are here. I will not fear, for you are here, for you are here. I will not fear, for you are here, for you are here. I will not fear, for you are here, for you are here. I will not fear, I will not fear, I will not fear. Jesus, the rock on which I stand, I won't be shaken. You hold me in your hands, I trust in Good evening, welcome to Social Distancing Live, and this evening we have a special guest host who I'm going to bring on in just a moment. But before I do that, I need to let you know that time is running out. If you've got something to say and you want to get it off your chest, if you want to have a go at doing a 3-minute sermon, you can. These are the details. The Sermon Slam entries are closing soon. Cheltenham Christian Arts Festival, it's my honour to host that on Saturday the 24th of April, but entries need to be submitted by Saturday, the 3rd of April, a 3-minute message inspired by a Bible passage. Hey, give it a whirl. It promises to be a fantastic event. But the person who got me that gig is with me now. Mr. Bean Baker, how are you, sir?
Hi, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well. I'm feeling a bit boxed in a turquoisey, greeny kind of way.
Yeah, I feel like I should step back a little bit, so I'm less. Is that better? Hang on, we're good. How are you, Rob?
I'm very well indeed, and this really is literally a proper low, because we've not really spoke to each other off air. We've just literally rolled with it tonight.
Really sad. I've waited for your calls, Rob.
Oh well, can you believe it's a year? It's a year since we started doing these social distancing streams. It's incredible, isn't it? It seems longer than that to me.
Well, you've done an amazing job, Rob.
Absolutely bless you, sir. Bless you, sir. And so what have you been up to this week? What's your week look like?
Great question. On Monday, I woke up and I had some sourdough bread with fried egg. That was quite nice. I thought I'd try it. I'm technically gluten intolerant, but I thought I'd try sourdough. It was all right. It wasn't that bad. I had sausages with it as well. That was really nice. And then how much detail did you want me to go into? Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, that's way too much detail, but I'm interested. What kind of sausages?
I think they were Cumberland.
Which yeah.
I would say is probably the second best sausage you could have.
Well, I was gonna say that the question tonight is: would you rather have a pause or rewind button for your life? But hey, let's get the sausage debate out there right away. What are the best kind of sausages in your opinion?
It's not really a debate. There is a clear winner.
You think
and that
Cumberland?
Is the Gloucester Old Spot.
Oh
no, that's second place. Gloucester Old Spot is the best sausage you could have, hands down.
You need to convince
anybody
me.
Who
What
disagrees
is it? What's in it? What does it taste like?
It's kind of typically most things from Gloucester. So like double Gloucester cheese is quite a fatty cheese, and the Gloucester rugby team are well known for being quite big and heavy in our rugby team, and our sausage is also quite a fatty sausage. So I think that's just a theme running through things that make Gloucester famous.
I need to give that a whirl.
We also have but the Gloucester Old Spot, beautiful. If you're in Gloucestershire, there's a couple of pubs called the Two Pigs, or Three Pigs, depending on an old Roman story of when it's a long story. But so I'm not going to bore you guys tonight. But I realised that before I go off down that rabbit hole. But the Gloucester Old Spot is a pig in Gloucester, and it produces the meat for the Old Spot sausage. It is just amazing.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. You didn't know that.
And this is a really good example of why we prep questions beforehand.
Yeah, we didn't have the pre-show chat, and you can tell. But guys, I hope you're well. Tonight's question is nothing to do with sausages, thankfully. But if you want to get involved in the sausage debate, what's your favourite sausage? We would love to know, and let us know why as well. The question is, would you prefer a pause or a rewind button for your life? Beulah Cheeseman straight away says, I'd like to rewind to some times in my life, but also pause on some too. If I must choose, then to rewind to some amazing times. That's a good answer. I like the logic there, Beulah. I love the logic of that. Melanie Stamp is getting involved. Hi, Melanie, by the way, and hi, Beulah, by the way. Says Cumberland is the best, especially if you go to Yew Tree Farm in Coniston, and they make it for you too. Wow. Okay, Cumberland.
I think I've actually been there. I think I have. Oh. They are. If it's where I think it is, it's very nice.
Well, tonight's program is brought to you in association with Yew Tree Farm. Other farms are available. But guys, we are coming to you tonight from at Rob Westall Music social media, but also Gateway Church Facebook, Gateway Church Abergavenny Facebook. So welcome if you're watching on there. Please say hello and please say where you're watching from. It's socially distancing live. So we're physically distant, but that doesn't mean that we have to be unsocial. We can be social on here. So Chris Phillips says halftime sausage and a hot dog at Ninian Park or Cardiff City Stadium. Oh, nice!
Yeah,
fantastic. I like a hot dog at a football match or a burger or something like that. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Is Cardiff City? That's not the Millennium Stadium, is it?
No. Millennium Stadium is the Wales rugby one, and this is where the Cardiff Blues play, and Cardiff City.
I knew that. I was just checking that you knew that, Rob. That's.
Beulah Cheeseman says, caramelised red onion sausages are my favourite. Wow.
Ooh.
That sounds lush, actually.
Yeah.
I'm really
hungry. They are pretty good.
I have had tea. Sorry, mother-in-law, if you're watching, because my mother-in-law came down and cooked us tea. And it was lovely. I'm just a very hungry boy. But Bean, we've got a very special guest on tonight, haven't we?
We do.
We are going to be talking all things music festivals, because during lockdown, and there were lots of sectors that were obviously affected. For Bean and myself, we play festivals and sing at festivals, and that's kind of like what we do, and that they weren't possible. So we're going to be speaking to a very special guest in just a moment, Mr. James Stevens from Kingstock Festival, one of the coolest, if not the coolest, Christian festivals in the UK, and can't wait to have him on in just a moment. But please, guys, please let us know what your favourite sausage is. I mean, stuff the rewind and pause button. That's gone out the window now. There you go. Hi to Kate Duckett. How are you? Hope you're well. But I just want to promote and do a bit of a shameless plug, really. Obviously, there's the Sermon Slam event that's coming up. You've got until Saturday, the 3rd of April, to submit your entries for that. It's a 3-minute message inspired by a Bible passage, and it could be an encouraging word, an inspiring word, or all of them. It could be whatever. So there are the details of how you can enter that if you want to have a go, and I would encourage you to have a go. It should be a fantastic event. We've got Mr. Di Woolridge as one of the judges. Also judging it is the Reverend Christopher Lee. He's not a vampire. He's a very well-known vicar, and he's got over 150,000 followers from on Instagram. And you might know him as the 60-second sermon vicar. He does sermons in 60 seconds, which are absolutely really fantastic, really encouraging. So check him out at Rev Chris Lee, I think his Instagram handle is. So yeah, if you want to enter the Sermon Slam, there are the details again. And Bean, I've got a new single coming out, which is why we've got this turquoisey, greeny colour around us.
I mean, it's nice because it makes your eyes pop.
And I don't know if you notice, I've got some like LED lights which aren't on brand. This is on brand. It's on the single cover brand, but this is not.
It's great. It's great. I love it.
And we've got
What's
a message.
The name of the single, Rob?
It's called. Thank you very much indeed, Bean. It's called I Will Trust in You, and it features Katie Truhan. The first single I released this year featured the gentleman that way. Mr. Bean Baker sang on that, of course, Never Let Me Go. UK Christian #1, of course. And this, I Will Trust in You, is based on Psalm 46 and when I was struggling in lockdown and all that. So check out Psalm 46 if you've got a Bible. It's really encouraging and very, very encouraging for the time that we're in and what we're going through. And here's a little message from Katie Druhan, who features on it, and a little sneak preview of it as well. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Katie Trahan, and I feature on the single I Will Trust in You with Rob Westall. And this is a little sneak peek of the song. Enjoy!
There you go. There you go. Could you hear that, Bean? Could you hear it?
Loved it. That was great. I was dancing away.
There you go. So yeah, that's coming out on Easter Sunday, but you can get it now from the website, and details of how to get that from the website are coming up here. That's actually, you can pre-order the album there. robwestallmusic.com/merch, so just pop along there and you can pick up the single straight away, download it and keep it forever. Or of course you can follow me on Spotify and follow this good man to my right or your left, whatever it is, the man next to me, Mr. Bean Baker. You can follow him on Spotify too, Bean Baker Band. Check him out. Follow us on Spotify, guys. It costs nothing, actually, if you download all of our music either, but it gives us 0.001p if you do that. Thank you very much.
Which will help us feed our families for...
Yes, in the future sometime, when inflation goes up, I don't know. But there you go. I'd like to bring in now our very special guest for this evening, Mr. James Stevens from Kingstock Festival. Hello, James. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. Hey, Bean. Hey, Rob. How you doing?
Very well indeed, very well. So, Kingstock Festival, allegedly, on authority, is the coolest Christian festival out there, yeah?
It's hard to argue with that. My team who organise it are, so I suppose it just has to be, doesn't it, really? So, yeah, can't fault that description.
And I must confess, you sent me some pictures of the festivals. Now, I have got them, but you'll have to talk while I get the pictures ready to show people of the festival. but tell us a little bit about the festival and how the origins of it, and how it all came about, really.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it kicked off about 13 years ago, off the back of the Hope 2008 initiative that happened right across the UK. Lots of churches were asked to get involved in that and do things for their community, bless their communities. So we did that by hosting a barbecue, which is a nice and simple thing. And knowing a few musicians, we invited them along and they played some tunes. We did the same the following year because it was received so well. And following that, a late night with friends and discussing it, we thought it would be a lot less effort to call it a music event than to have it as a barbecue. With hindsight, that's obviously ridiculous, but it was a lot of effort cooking a barbecue for about 70 people at the time. So we, at that point, Kingstock began, and we held it midsummer, and it was in our garden, and things came together, and it was a nice chilled afternoon and evening, and it's kind of built on that, really. So we hosted it at our home for a few years, and when we hit about 200 people in our garden, we realized we might need a little bit more space. I was going to say, because you sent me some pictures, and when you said you held it in your garden, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this isn't your garden, is it? No, that's our second home in the country. Our garden is considerably smaller than that. In fact, our garden is just a little cottage garden in the grounds of a place a bit like that. So we're blessed with lots of parking, even though the garden's not particularly big. But yeah, 200 people can really trash your lawn, and it's 200 people using the loo in your house is not a lovely thing either. So
No.
so we realised if we were going to take it seriously, we needed a venue. So we moved to a local farm, which hosted us for a few years, and that was brilliant. That allowed us to expand. It gave us loads of space to try things out.
Is this the farm here
then,
on the screen, James?
No, so this is our current home.
Oh, sorry, I've gone too far ahead. I do apologise.
No, you've just made me move along quickly. So that's Morgahanger Park, which is our current home. So it's which the stately home that you just put a picture up of. That's Morgahanger Park near Sandy in Bedfordshire. And that's become our home, and it's brilliant. It's a lovely blank canvas. I think all music festivals eventually end up in the grounds of a stately home, so it was nice to kind of follow that journey. And it's a great location. It's got some lovely sheltered areas for people to camp. So the last time we held a festival, which was, it feels like ages ago now, we were celebrating our 10th birthday. So we extended the festival by a day, ran it from Thursday right through to Sunday, and to celebrate that fact. It turned out to be quite an exciting year because we managed to time our festival for a storm, but
it was beautiful.
Our team was pretty awesome, and they really galvanized behind making sure nobody actually blew away. And it was a real memorable 10th birthday. And little did we know that we wouldn't be having an 11th as we planned. So, but yes, it's all good. And yeah, Morgahanger Park have been perfect hosts for us.
Fantastic. And Melanie says it ended up being a mud bath one year. And of course, you think music festivals, one often thinks of Glastonbury and all those images, the famous images of the mud. So you've had a Glastonbury-esque experience at Kingstock.
Well, that was while it was at our home. So somebody actually achieved, Dancing Dave managed to do mud angels on our lawn. So it was that muddy. But thankfully, the brilliant thing about Morgahanger Park, and the clue it being near a place called Sandy, is that the soil is really sandy. So the chances of it turning into a mud fest for us now is minimal. It drains so quickly. It's really amazing. We think we've managed to pick the perfect venue to avoid mud. We've ticked it off the list. We don't need to do it again, thanks.
Marvellous. Well, guys, if you're tuning into Social Distancing Live with me, Rob Westall, and Bean Baker, the guest host tonight, we are joined by James Stevens, founder of Kingstock Festival, Christian Festival down in Bedfordshire. Is that the correct terminology geographically? Bedfordshire, is that?
Yeah, that's
brilliant.
Close enough.
As Welshies get quite offended with wrong geographical references to where we live, so I wanted to make absolutely sure. So you for 11 years now it's been going, and last year was obviously quite challenging for everybody involved in the industry. What was it like from your experience and your point of view? How far had you got into the organisation of it all? When did things start to become apparent that it wasn't going ahead? And if you could just talk us through how that felt, really, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we're perpetually planning the next event. So planning begins before the event is already finished. So we're always getting ahead of ourselves. Thankfully, because we've been going for 10 years now, we actually have a lot of knowledge and skills and things already set in place. So planning can be, we've got a template for how we do things, and that really helps us with our planning. So last year we had books and bands, and we were getting things underway, planning site layout, decor, things like that. And quite early on we had a gut feeling that it wasn't going to be happening, but it's it's not an easy thing to say it's not going to happen.
Sure.
The festival's in my blood. You know, it's my life in many ways, and so to make the call to not do it is really tricky. However, again, some great advice from the management team, and some timely advice and timely opportunities to speak with people that helped us plan how we were going to move things forward. And we kind of, I mean, the timing in some ways was great. We probably, as a team, we probably would never have taken a fallow year, and so we took it as that opportunity. We wouldn't have allowed ourselves a year off, and it was nice to have one forced on us. Interestingly, way back, again, the time's sort of stretched and condensed all at the same time at the moment, isn't it? But way back, I'd insisted that at no point should anybody call the Kingstock 2020. I partly felt this way because everybody else had called their festival something 2020. I'd insisted that back in 2019, I'd insisted that the team only refer to it as Kingstock 11. So arguably we're bang on track, and we're just coming up to Kingstock 11. That was an interesting choice there. But yes, all those people with 2020 vision sadly didn't see this coming. So we didn't either, but we happened to arrange things to be able to sidestep it. So yeah. It was kind of it was such a harsh decision to not go ahead, but it's when it comes to people's safety, that increasing when you're a festival organizer, creativity is a tiny part of what you do. People's safety is all that you do. So from that perspective, it kind of becomes an easy choice.
Sure.
And so we plan that way for Kingstock 11.
Well, I'm going to get into that in just a moment. But Bean, you've experienced the festival yourself. I mean, what are your experiences and thoughts of the festival? How would you describe it to people watching tonight?
Oh, it's just lovely. I feel like lovely might not be the as it's like saying it's nice. It's a lot nice. It's a lot better than nice. But it's just great. In terms of I mean, from a musician's perspective, I get to hang out with other musicians there, and it's just a real good atmosphere amongst the other acts who just want to support each other and are pro each other and want to hear the new music out on the scene. So from a musician's perspective, I loved it. But it's really chilled. And one of the things, I think the first year that I went, James was trying to explain to me how there wasn't really ever a main stage. There was just, and I couldn't quite comprehend this until I realized that no band played at the same time. It was staggered amongst the stages, and so everybody in theory could go to everything.
That's super cool.
And I absolutely love that. It leveled the playing field, and it meant that we were as musicians. I loved it because we were just like, we're in this together. James has done such a great job just building that community vibe, but also just a real welcoming atmosphere, whether you are a musician or you love music, or you just love community. It's just a great festival to be a part of, and I have no problem in saying online in a live stream that is by far my favorite festival by a long way. Please, other festivals, please also book me.
Well, I would just want to give obviously we've heard from you. You've painted a very good picture, but you sent me some pictures. I want to show the pictures because they really do encapsulate some of the atmosphere that you've been talking about here. So if I put some, I'm just sorry, Bean. I do apologize. I'm going to cover you.
That's fine.
I'm going to be covered by them as well. By the way,
I'm going to get some water whilst you do it. So
no problem. So if I put them up, James, and you talk me through them, I suppose is the best way of doing it. Obviously, guys, if you've got any questions for James Stevens, our special guest tonight, who is the founder of Kingstock Music Festival, based in Bedford, one of the top Christian festivals in the UK, and obviously we're going to be finding out what's happening this year as well. So stay tuned for that. But here's one of the pictures here.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
So this is the woodland stage, which
Love this stage.
is tucked in underneath some old yew trees. Is it even a festival if people aren't dancing outside? So that this the performer there is actually a guy called Zion. He was on what was he on? He was on one of the TV judge shows. He got as far as Judges' Houses. I can't remember which TV show it is.
Something like X Factor or something, was it? One of those?
Yeah. Mainstream music is dull once you find some of the bands on the scene that we look for music. So, but yeah, it was brilliant. Everybody got involved. People are having a good time there. The Woodland stage is something we've had at the festival pretty much since day one, actually. The original Woodland stage was a pile of pallets and some curtains elaborately placed with some fairy lights in the wood at the back of our house. So that's something we've kept right through, and woodlands and trees are all the rage now, but we were doing wild wood 10 years ago, so
you were trendsetters.
Something we always are.
Brilliant. And the next picture I've got here is of, now I think this bloke, I think he's Scottish maybe.
Oh yes. Scottish campers.
We have some amazing coincidences, or however you wish to view them, at the festival many times. There's a band from Scotland. They contacted us to perform, and for various reasons we didn't have a slot for them, and but I invited them anyway. I said, come down, we'll give you some free tickets, come and have fun. And while they were on their way down, the other musician had to pull out. So they arrived, I think, about 10 o'clock at night. And I said, do you want to perform tomorrow? And they didn't even really have a name for the band. In fact, I don't think they had a name for the band till after the festival. And everybody referred to them as those Scottish campers. So that became their name. And they're a brilliant bunch of people that have been a blessing to the festival on so many levels, as well as kindly filling a performance gap at the very last moment. They didn't even have instruments with them. They didn't even have a drummer. But thankfully, at a music festival, we have everything you need for that sort of thing. So, brilliant people. So, and more dancing, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. I mean, there's loads of pictures here. I'm just gonna.
Sorry, I just sent you loads. I'm just.
So there's one here. I'll get a few on the screen.
Voices Beyond, I believe.
Voices Beyond, yeah, that's right. Yes. Bean can tell you who these people are. No,
this is like a quiz, Bean.
It's a bigger quiz for me. They're at my festival, so that's
Fire Brigade, yes.
Flight Brigade, yeah, well done, Bean. Can I just say also, chorizo sausage toasted on a campfire. That's just to join in the sausage conversation from earlier.
Oh yeah,
that's how we do it. Kingstock style is toasted chorizos. Toast them like a marshmallow. Interval sandu there. So yes.
Yeah, guys, if you're just tuning in, of course, Bean, he threw a cat amongst the pigeons, and what is your favourite sausage? Beulah's gone with caramelised red onion sausages. Half-time sausages at the football, says Chris. I mean, chorizo. That's chorizo option sounds really good, actually.
It's kind of a king's fire thing. So yeah, chop them up like marshmallows, put them on a stick, toast them in the fire. Honestly,
I mean that does sound pretty good.
It is. It's amazing, and thankfully they don't catch fire too easy. So like a marshmallow does.
I was just skimming the comments and I thought someone had suggested like a sausage with mud in it, and I realized it was actually Mel talking about a mud bath. I was like, that must be a hipster thing. Sausage.
Oh, there we are.
Ooh.
What's this? Hi, Di Woolridge says, I can't even pronounce that. Saucisson set.
Is that the
all day
ones you
long.
get in like the fish and chip shops? No, that's a Savoy.
The ones
I'm
in
sorry.
the plastic covers.
I'm sorry.
Oh man, I totally derailed that, didn't I? Sorry about that, Rob.
No, it's fine. Guys, we're talking about sausages tonight on Social Distancing Live. What's your favourite sausage? But we're also talking to James Stevens, founder of Kingstock Christian Festival, based in Bedford. And James, I appreciate when you had to stop this year. You said it was a no-brainer in the end. But when you've got a vision and a passion, the temptation is to keep going and keep ploughing on at all costs sometimes, isn't it? So it must have been quite difficult with all that going on as well, because you must be so focused and blinkered with what's going on.
In some ways, yes, it did make it part of the hard decision. However, we actually we're 10 years into a 30-year vision. So
wow, okay.
When you look at it with that perspective, a fallow year actually becomes a really logical approach. We've kind of got some ideas for the next 10 years, and we know kind of roughly how we want things to start forming after that as well. So I know that's a huge vision and timescale for what's a relatively small music festival, but we know what we're doing is good. We know that it's really important for encouraging musicians and encouraging bands. And actually, if you look at what 30 years of encouraging musicians would look like, the kind of the fruit of that is just awesome. It's culture changing, and even done on a small scale, it's culture changing. So our vision's pretty big and generational, but it's
fantastic.
It's not at all unrealistic. So we're 1 year off isn't too much trouble. So
how has the fallow year gone? Has it been a year off, or arguably are you thinking, right, how do we operate in the new normal kind of thing? Oh, by the way, Di Woolridge says it's a French sausage, apparently. Is that just because it's pronounced French? Saucillon? I don't know. I'm not going there. Any French viewers, I do apologize.
That's what you're saying.
Sorry, I asked a really serious question, James, and then went off completely in a different direction.
I can't even figure what you asked me now.
So what I was saying was it really a fallow year for you? Was it a year of rest, or were you actually thinking, okay, how do we do this going forward now, knowing that you've got that 30-year vision? How are we going to operate in the new normal? What are the variables? What are the different options? How do we have to think outside the box, kind of thing?
Well, in terms of a fallow year, it really was in terms of festival things. There really wasn't a lot to do. We opted to not try and have an online presence. It's well, as you know, it's deeply complex and time consuming, and I thought I'd leave it to experts like you guys. So
I didn't know what I was doing until a year ago.
Enjoy watching the bands we support. So that's been great to do that, although I've desperately missed live music. I think in the end, but how it currently feels a little bit with some of the live streams, it's just making me wish for live music more. However loudly I shout and applaud, I know people can't hear me, and so it's becoming quite sad actually for me, because I love live music so much. But I've become a school teacher in the last year for my kids, so fallow doesn't necessarily equal rest, that's for sure, but we've all been at home together as a family. My wife's been able to work from home, and that's super precious. And we'll if that's the new normal, we'll take it. Thank you very much. That's been lovely. Obviously, not without its stresses. I've never considered myself a good teacher, but but all the positives far outweigh the stresses of it. So yeah, we're very fortunate. We live in the middle of nowhere here, and it's been very easy to socially distance from people. However, looking forward at the festival, we've got lots of space at our venue, so that's really great. We haven't got to worry about capacity issues. It's all outdoors, which is great. We've actually always kind of taken a personal approach with people, so so looking after people is really important to us. So kind of it's easy to adapt to whatever we'll need to do at that point to keep people safe. And like I mentioned before, keeping people safe is a massively important part of the festival. I think we've always been a real clean festival, which sounds like an odd thing, but our punters have never been ones for like leaving rubbish. So I have high confidence that they're also going to be like look after themselves sort of from a hygiene perspective with the new normal, and likewise members of the team that keep the site clean and keep all the facilities looked after. They do an outstanding job, utterly outstanding job, and so I don't really have any concerns that we can't meet the standards. My only concerns are actually that the team will try so hard to meet the standards that they'll exhaust themselves. But I'm sure we'll find a way. The guidance is perpetually changing. I think it changes weekly. Information from the events industry on what we need to do to keep people safe, and it will be fine. We're very flexible, and we'll work it all out. And we're small enough to be flexible, which is fantastic.
Marvelous. Well, guys, if you've got any questions for James about Kingstock and about festivals, music festivals, etc. I know a lot of people on here love live music and live events and things. My wife Anna says hi James. Gateway Church Abergavenny says hello to you as well. We're broadcasting and streaming from Gateway Church Abergavenny's Facebook page, as well as all my socials as well tonight. Hi James, says Beulah as well. And Donna Druin says hi as well, says hello. So hello to you guys, and thank you for watching. So Bean, what's your you've obviously played the festival before.
Yeah.
What's your favourite thing about it? One thing.
That is a good question. my favorite memory or my favorite thing about it.
I know I'm asking you the question in front of James as well, so it's a bit of a pressured question.
I love the guy who runs it. Actually, he's such a lovely person.
I'm probably as worried as Bean is about the answer. I know that I've been rude to Bean in the past in the most brotherly sense.
I forgot about
that. Way. And it's yeah. I wish I hadn't reminded you now. But no.
Melanie says, "Say the red chair, Bean."
Oh, actually, that was pretty good. I mean, there's not much of a story, but I was tired, and there was a really nice chair I got to sit on. I think it was Mel's. I got to sit in it. It was very comfortable.
Not like a Graham Norton red chair.
I don't think that could be the favorite memory though. I think it's the second year we did it, and it was tipping it down with rain. And I've been at festivals before, and I've played at gigs before when we've played in the rain or the snow, or it's been cold and it's not been nice weather, and people kind of you might have like 2 or 3 people in under like maybe some awning or the porch trying to poke their head out to have a look. But Kingstock, you don't have that. They all come out in the rain and they dance. I love it. Yeah. And it was lovely because like it just felt like everybody was in it, and the weather didn't dampen spirits. On the more extreme version of that was I think was it not last year, the year before. We had some strong wind. Is probably the best way to describe it, and it was very, very windy, and so I think we had to go to the stages, didn't we? We shut down one of the stages for a period of the evening, which is fine because it meant that because of the way that James set it up, we didn't miss any acts. I think every single act played, every slot was filled. It was amazing. But there was this one point and I think it was Rebecca Weiss was playing Rebecca Weiss, and it was just this. She's a great songwriter, and has the songs that she writes has this element of calm in the storm, and this was just I think James highlighted this I think afterwards, but it was this beautiful moment of just we're fighting the elements here, but like it was just this beautiful musical lovely moment. He felt God was in it as well, and it was just a lovely encouraging life affirming beautiful moment.
Wonderful. Well, we do have a question from it's Sarah or Sarah Wright. Sorry, please let me know how to pronounce that. It says, James, can we sign up to Heaven Sent Friends?
See, Sarah's a very good friend, and she keeps me on my toes with. Before Kickstarters were a thing, we started a Kickstarter for the festival. So so we have our own little crowdfunding scheme called Heaven Sent Friends, and they're people that help support the festival. So the festival is entirely not for profit. I think all festivals are not for profit if they're realistic about how they do things, but we choose to run it that way. So none of the team take a wage or any sort of payment for it, including myself. And I think that's really important, because it adjusts how you spend other people's money. My goodness, we're careful with how we spend every single penny that's given to the festival, whether it's through a ticket or through our Heaven Sent Friends initiative. And so the Heaven Sent Friends, they support us through the year, because obviously there's costs right through the year, not just during the festival weekend itself. So that's a brilliant initiative that's on our website, and I'm sure we'll put the links in the comments in due course. But so yes, signing up to that is great. You get some insider information, and well, not in the last year, but typically we'd have special events, and that our Heaven Sent Friends get priority access to those, and they get to hear all the things before they happen, before they eventually, when I get organised, get them onto social media. So it's a neat little thing, and you really are. The people that have signed up to Heaven Sent Friends, they are friends. They're people that have personally got involved with the festival, even if sometimes a small level. But it's a lovely confirmation that they believe in what we're doing, and that little bit of support is fantastic. Just for building the team and reminding us that people want to engage with what we're doing, and they see the importance in what we do. So, and of course, the other simple way to support us is to buy a ticket, and to buy a ticket early if you can. That's really helpful too. So that helps us with our planning. So, and our tickets are all really. Sorry, I'm reading the comments here from Sarah.
Yeah, sorry. Wow, that was some special spell checking. Glad you worked it out.
Yeah, we keep our tickets like really simple. The price is the price. So I know there's lots of other events we do, early bird, and this, that, and the other. And the way we look at it is our festival tickets are incredibly good value whenever you buy them, and there's no tiers of how important they are or anything like that. This is the price they are, and it works out. I think it works out just less than £4 a band. Wow. When you break it down like that, to see the bands, which is as well as being the coolest, if I dare say that, we're probably the most affordable festival as well. So. And that's really important to us, that people can access it, and bands understand this as well, and are really excellent at supporting us and getting on board. So yeah, the whole thing is, by the people for the people. It's about people and encouragement.
Well, we're going to find out what's going on this year in just a moment, but I just wanted to go back a bit and obviously it's been going for over a decade, and you said you've got a vision. There's obviously a Christian element to it. What's some of the fruit that you've seen, and some of the, you know, the encouragement from sowing the seeds that you've been sowing by just putting on this event?
Gosh, it's
Or do you know? I
there's
mean, sometimes you don't know, do you? It's, you just.
oh no, I kind of I do know, and I'm
Mm.
sport for choice actually. It seems like there's hundreds of incidentals that connect people. So that's kind of the an easy answer in some ways, because the whole festival site seems to be incidentals of people connecting. The band collaborations that happen off the back of it are brilliant too. There's loads of collaborations happen. I think one of the trustees of Moggahanger Park said to me last time we had the festival there that the presence of what we've done lingers there for weeks beyond.
Wow.
And that's such an encouragement. I mean, you couldn't create that on purpose.
Yeah.
And actually, so it's all of those things that you couldn't possibly create. We kind of just make the music the main thing, and make encouraging the bands and giving them a platform the main thing, and then all of these other incidentals happen off the back of it. And if we tried to create an atmosphere that lingered for weeks afterwards, I don't know. I don't even know where you'd start, but
Yeah.
I think as soon as you started striving, you'd probably start reducing the ability that happening. So there's loads of things like that. But I think that connecting bands together and the encouragement, I think Bean's already mentioned this, being able to actually spend time with like-minded people is encouragement in itself. Just to know, because when bands are out on the Christian scene or any other scene, they're probably actually rushing between gigs. They're not actually getting any time to connect with people. They're actually on exactly the same journey, and to know that you're not alone, but actually, look, there's another 20 bands here that completely understand your journey and where you're at. That level of encouragement is really important to us. So, but yeah, the whole God connections thing, I could probably keep talking for another hour at least about things like that. Rebecca Weiss is a great example, actually, of just a lovely moment. She seems to be able to deliver these moments perpetually. Of just beautiful still moments in nature outside where you become still, and that's lovely. I can remember one of her sets that she played. Butterflies and dragonflies started flying around the audience area, and it's just being that connected with creation is really important, I think, to people. So we don't have a packed program. We don't have preaching and teaching or any of these things. We let people do that through the music. I can't think of a more honest presentation of somebody's personal faith than through the music that they create. And I think that says enough. And actually, I think people take that seriously. They'll take that seriously from any form of music, be it secular or Christian. And so we think that's enough. And well, we know it's bang on from the feedback we get from people that bring people who aren't in the church scene, who wouldn't call themselves Christians, and they utterly engage with what we do. So that the kind of the positive outcomes are just brilliant from that perspective.
Marvelous. I mean, you've got a clear vision, which is incredible in itself, and also music is so powerful in itself. It's such a powerful thing, and it can evoke emotions. It can stir up things that you didn't realize was there. So good on you. And you know, sometimes, let me encourage you as well. I mean, sometimes when you've got a massive vision and a big vision, not everyone's going to get it, and but they don't have to get it. So I just want to encourage you to keep going, and you can only do what God's calling you to do, and persevere with it, and keep doing it to the best of your ability. No, wonderful. It's wonderful, and I can't wait to come down, if I'm allowed to say that, to be a part of it. So that leads on to what is happening this year. What does Kingstock look like, and is it going ahead, etc.?
Yeah, so it's going ahead. We've brought it forward this year to just because bad weather the previous 2 times we've run the festival, so we're tucked a little bit closer to harvest time, and so that should hedge our bets for having good weather. When we've had good weather at Mogahanga in the past, it's been exceptional. It's when we've had stages in the walled garden complex, they trap the heat, and so it becomes just absolutely amazing. So we're trying to do that. So the festival runs the Friday the 29th of July through to Sunday the 1st of August this year, and the hurricane of 2019 kind of shaped us that weekend. We had no choice about it. So and the kind of some of the things it did and forced us to do, we embraced, and that we feel that they worked for making it more intimate format, which is one of the lovely things about the festival is you're not segregated from the bands or anything like that. You can get close and enjoy your music, and so we're social distancing allowing, condensing some parts of it. This year we know it's not going to be Kingstock proper. I've kind of in messages to our wider team, we have various Facebook communities. I was kind of explaining that where I think we're at this year as a festival is, when a butterfly has just come out of its chrysalis and it's kind of there hanging on and its wings aren't all spread out. I kind of feel that's us this year. And you're not an amazing butterfly, but you're not a caterpillar, and you're not a dormant chrysalis anymore. We've had a dormant year, and so we are what we are this year, and it will guidance beyond our planning will dictate to us how we shape things. But it's the beginning of our next 10 years as a festival. So I see us very much in butterfly mode in the coming years. So and we're absolutely fine with that. It might not be all that we want to be. However, we're very realistic about where we're at, and can celebrate where we're at. And we're out of the chrysalis, and that's a really good start compared to last year. So that will shape the festival. We'll kind of keep it intimate. Some things that we've done in the past, we will trim off this time, and rebuild them and rebuild on them in the future. We are the pivot point at the end of our 10 years. We knew some things were going to change, and we knew that. And we had some exciting plans for the future. We don't get to deliver them yet, but we get to begin them. So it's going to be a great year. And I think people's desire for live music, to be able to chill out in a field or a woodland together, that will be enough, I think, in itself this year, just to be able to be in the presence of live music in a really beautiful environment. Just talking about it's good for the soul, isn't it? So
absolutely, I'm there
now. We don't have to set the bar very high for it to be an amazing experience compared to last year. So, but no, it's hard to get the team to set any sort of low bar. Bean will know from experience that our tech team are exceptional, and they'll can make miracles happen with the sounds and deliver it perfectly year after year. So that quality won't dip at all with the festival.
I think Melanie there has just summed it up. Freedom.
Well, we have a stage called the Freedom Stage, which is really important to us. But it connects actually with Mogahanga Park as well, because Moggahanger Park, back in its past, it's the owners, the Thorntons, were connected to William Wilberforce and the whole
Wow.
abolition of slavery.
Wow,
So
incredible.
it's how those people would view what we do there, I don't know, but I think they would be able to celebrate the freedom of dancing in a field and the multicultural nature of what we do as well. So yeah, freedom's important to us.
So James, can people get tickets now? How does that work at the moment? How can they sort of engage with you and make sure they're up to speed with everything?
Our website is it's limited at the minute because we're still working on some things in the background. However, we are on Facebook, of course, and things that we're on the brink. So I think we would typically make some significant announcements about lineup and what have you around the Maybank holiday time, typically when Big Church Day Out would be happening. But we're planning to bring those forward, and we're rushing to bring those things forward. So tickets, I think, will be on sale. If they're not on sale now, they're going to be on sale within the next week. And I think you can sign up to our mailing list. You can find out about Heaven Sent Friends initiative, and of course follow us on Facebook. I think we're on the other social media platforms as well, but I have some kind volunteers that look after some of those things for me because I'm old. Because they're really good at doing it. So when you've got skilled people, why not ask them to help?
Hey, if they're up for helping me out as with mine, I'd be grateful. Pass on their details. Jonathan Dotchin gives you I think it's a double palm high five.
It's like, yeah,
that's what I'm taking it as. And
yes.
I don't know what that means.
Pauline's reminding everybody that Kingstock has two S's in the middle.
Right.
So often it's written as one S.
Oh no.
Which is an easy mistake to make, Rob. But it's become a talking point for 10 years. So that's something, of course. So,
apologies.
The worst part was, I think it was the year after I first did Kingstock, because I'd heard about, like, don't spell it wrong. So I made an intention of spelling what I thought was correct. And I was like, this is how you spell it, guys. And then James was like, mate, I thought no, it's not right.
Oh, never.
And it was something late that year. He was like, I thought you were just taking the mick. And I was like, no, I thought I was right.
Well, the name initially was kind of a little bit tongue in cheek. We didn't kind of initially that 2 o'clock in the morning decision to change a barbecue to a festival. We live in a village called Kings Ripton, and so we took that, and then we took the stock from Woodstock to remind us not to take things too seriously. We'll go for a very grand and famous festival to kind of keep our feet on the ground, and a nod to the greatest one that most people are aware of. And we didn't sort of have a 2-year marketing strategy on the name or anything like that. And I don't doubt that an expert would have said, no, you need to ditch that extra S in there. That's going to drive you crazy for 10 years. But there you go. It gives us something to talk about for 10 years. But
well, James, thank you so much for coming on to Social Distancing Live. And hope to see you end of July, early August at Kingstock. And guys, I'll be sharing how you can get in touch when the tickets go on sale. I'll be sharing all that on my socials as well. I think Jonathan has put that on the Facebook page there. There's a link to the Facebook page for Kingstock, and it does indeed have 2 S's. But God bless you, James. Thank you very much. I will speak to you off air in just a moment, but thanks for being our guest tonight. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you.
See you there, James.
So, Bean, thank you for being the co-host tonight as well.
It was quite nice. I just got to hang out with some lovely people. It's great.
Well, guys, that's a musical festival for you that you can engage with. As James said, that's quite exciting, isn't it? It's going ahead as it stands. So that's something to hope for if you love live music. And there may be some people that who are there. I don't know. They might be. It's a good one. Check it out. We'll be sharing all the details with you as well. But Bean, we've got to decide who wins the favourite sausage shout, really, and it is so Di Woolridge, saucisson sec. I think there was caramelized red onion sausage in my favourite. Basically, if you're just tuning in and thinking what on earth is going on, it's tonight's question is what's your favourite sausage?
Well, I said from the very beginning there was a very clear first place which will not move. I'm we'll fight for that. So I mean, whoever put Cumberland sausage, well, that has to be second place.
Melanie Stamp.
Oh yeah,
Cumberland is the best, especially if you go to Yew Tree Farm. Other farms are available. There you go. So Cumberland sausage wins it. There you go. I can't argue with that. I like a Cumberland myself. So Bean, it only then James is getting in on the action. Campfire chorizo. Now that did sound good, but
it did sound pretty good.
we need once we've tried it, James. I'm sure that will be the new number one. Oh, Bean, thank you so much for coming on, dude. I appreciate it, and hope you've had a good time.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
And I suppose it. Go on. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say. Are you releasing a song soon, Rob?
I am indeed. I'm releasing.
Really?
I Will Trust in You. It's coming out on Sunday. You can get it. If this works, fantastic. You can get it here now, actually. Pre-order the new album at the same time. robwestallmusic.com/merch. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thank you for saying that.
Stunning graphic, Rob. Yeah, that's amazing.
And here's a little sneak peek if you want one.
Oh yeah.
There you go. That is the tones of Stuart Ironside. He's doing that solo, and Steve Quantick, who is our guest host tomorrow. Our very good friend Steve Quantick is the guest host tomorrow evening as well.
Steve Q. He's literally messaging at the moment. We've been geeking out about guitar gear all day today.
God bless you, Stevie. Hope you're well, and looking forward to having you on tomorrow. And guys, if you want to join us tomorrow night, 8:00 tomorrow evening, don't forget to subscribe and like the pages that you're watching on. It all helps. Thank you very much indeed. And Social Distancing Live was a streaming program that was born a year ago because lost all our gigs, and Bean and other friends were guests and met so many other artists and musicians, Christian musicians, and it's just a stream where we share our faith and share the hope and the positivity that we have despite going through unprecedented times such as this. And Bean, do you want to share anything before we leave tonight? We're going to listen to our song, by the way, that we did together to end the program. But do you want to say anything on that note? Really, any encouraging messages for those watching?
Give us something really powerful and memorable. All I have to say is Kingstock has 2 S's.
Brilliant. Well, God bless you all for watching and tuning in. And it's good night from me. And it's good night from
me.
There you go. I'm Rob Westall. That's been Baker. And this is our song, Never Let Me Go. Good night, God bless. Written by tomorrow's guest host. Written with tomorrow's guest host, Steve Quantick. Good night, God bless, everybody.
God bless.
You will strengthen me. Stop your spirit what spurs me on forever. You won't leave me. You will never let me go. Never let me go. You are for me. You give me strength to carry on. Strength to carry on. You have set me free. You're transforming me. I'm yours. I'm yours. You will run with me for eternity. We're one. We're one. Your joy will be my strength. Your love goes on and on forever.